covering the face and the hands, is it mandatory? If a sister doesn't, is she sinning?
Chicago, Illinois. Correct view on covering the face and the hands. If you have the ability to do it, then do it. It's good. Khayrun bila shar. Good without any bad. Do it. It's the safest view. It's the view which has the most precaution. Inshallah, it's closer to piety. It is covering the center of beauty of the woman. The center of beauty after her face could be her hands. Cover your hands and your face if you can. That's the best thing to do. As far as what's the strongest view, then if I say that's the strongest view, someone else says that's the strongest view. And a person says this scholar says the strongest view. Allahu alam. What's the strongest view? The word strongest is relative. You may think that you're a strong man, and then I put you in front of someone else who will toss you like a rag doll. Your strength is relative. It's relative. It's subjective. You feel that you're strong. Someone else may be what? Stronger. What did he say? The coach, his coach is at least what? 6'4", 6'5", roughly. He said one day we were torn. We're out of the country, and I met a player who was from Russia. He said he stood over me and he laughed at me and he said, "Ha ha, little man." 6'5". Well, you wouldn't call anyone 6'5" little in the United States. But standing to someone who's 7 feet, 7'2", 7'3", he called him what? Little man. You're a little shrimp. So height, strength, these things are always what? Relative. Nisbi. How does say nisbi? Rajih to one person, maybe marjuh to the what? To the next person. What my personal opinion is, one thing. Most of the ulama say, one thing. What I feel makes the most sense, one thing. But what's the strongest view? I can't dictate and determine what's strong and what's weak. Because that's something which is subjective from what? Person to person. You consider it strong, the next item considered to be what? Weak. Or marjuh. Even not weak, but just marjuh. It's not the strongest view. And that is why we say the best thing to do is to wear the niqab or the burqa, cover your face, cover your hands. That's the best thing to do. That's the safest thing to do. That has the most precaution. And inshallah, that is aqrabu lit-taqwa. That's closer to piety. And there's no one in his right mind that's going to differ on the fact that the beauty of a woman is generally focused in her face. No matter what her hair looks like, her hands, her arms, her feet, her chest, her legs, her face. That's the asl of the jamal of a woman. So if the hijab is meant to cover the beauty of the woman and hide it from those non-mahram men who are not supposed to see it and enjoy it, it only makes sense to cover the face. It only makes sense. Okay? So that's the safest and the best thing to do, regardless of my opinion, regardless of what this imam says, that's the safest thing to do. Last but not least, many ulama say, with regards to a woman who does not cover her hands and her face, and they say that she's not sinful, it's permissible not to cover the hands and the face, to go outside in front of non-mahram men, there are conditions. And from those conditions, makeup is not to be worn. And many women, they uncover their hands and their face and they wear makeup. They wear makeup, and that's incorrect, even according to that fatwa. Secondly, they say that a woman is not supposed to live in a place in which is full of perversion and deviation, and which is full of lust, and everyone lusts off of women. Last but not least, they say that if a woman is very beautiful, she's very gorgeous, her covering her hands and her face could be obligatory because it's a fitna for her or for others. Now, if you just look at these three conditions, you'll clearly see there are many women, and one could possibly say most women today, they violate those three conditions. How many women don't cover their hands and their face and they wear makeup? How many women don't cover their hands and their face and they live in a land of perversion and sickness? How many women don't cover their hands and their face and they're extremely beautiful, and which is a fitna for them and for others? So it's very important to take the fatwa of the alim with the conditions. Everyone understand this? Last but not least is that you have to have a proof and an evidence for what you're doing. You can't, a sister, if there are two sisters in the masjid, one covers the hands and the face, one doesn't cover the hands and the face. The sister wearing the niqab and the gloves, she says, "Sister, fear Allah, cover your hands and your face." The other sister says, it's differences of opinion. It's difference of opinion. It's khilaf. No doubt there's khilaf. But khilaf is not dalil. Khilaf is not a proof to do something. If you've been given the fatwa that it's permissible to do, if you feel that that's the correct view, that's the dalil. And her criticizing you, talking about you, looking down upon you, kicking you out of the masjid, as many ignorant sisters do who think that they're on sunnah. That's the problem. And that's when you want to say it's khilaf. لا تنكر علي. لا تنكري. You can't make inkar. ليش؟ لأن المسألة خلافية. There are different views. The ulama of Islam different on this issue. You can't say I'm a bad Muslim, I'm an evil Muslim for me taking that view. But that is not the dalil. You have to take that view because either you were taught that's what you were given, or that's what you believe is the correct view. Do you understand? The khilaf of the ulama is not a proof and an evidence for someone to do something. It's not a dalil to do something. There's a huge difference between the two. So when it comes to ijma', consensus, when it comes to ikhtilaf or khilaf, difference of opinion, there are many people, where if not most of them, who don't understand the basic principles of these things. Taqleed and ittiba' and ijtihad, they don't understand the correct principles. And oftentimes people are overzealous. You find someone talking about someone, criticizing them over an issue in which most of the ulama of Islam said the opposite. You can have your view, that that's the correct view, but how are you making tabdeed on someone? And 99% of the ulama said that. It's a huge problem. A huge problem. All right? So we have to learn the correct way. And all of these things are summed up in the philosophy of empty your cup. Learn the right way. Get rid of the bad way. Unlearn what you think that you've learned. And do it the proper scientific way. The way of ilm. Of how to be a blind follower. How to be an independent scholar. How to be a student of knowledge. How to give dawah. How to give advice. How to make inkar. How not to make inkar. How to take advice. How to take a criticism. How to criticize, etc. So these issues are not issues in which we're to fight each other over and wage war over with each other over. All right? So in brief, the best thing to do is to cover your hands and your face. That's the best thing to do. You can't lose by doing that. Inshallah ta'ala. Wallahu a'lam.